it is Alison Creamer, of course, with Conversations with Creamer, and today we are with Kenny Lentner. Did I say that name right?
Yeah, you absolutely correct.
Kenny
Lentner, easy name.
Kenny and I actually met probably online through real estate forums and social media stuff, and then through KW at one point. So we kind of intertwined, but I don't know if we've ever really sat down and talked too much.
No, I think, again, like you said, I used to catch your Facebook videos in your car all the time, You were driving, you'd be going through the tunnel. I'm like, oh, she's going to kill somebody.
Don't tell my husband that. But today, this podcast it's going to be rather time sensitive, so we will most likely have it up really quick. We are talking about, unfortunately, a tragedy that you are trying to turn into a positive for somebody. So tell me about this first annual event that you have created and who it's for.
Sure. So last December, there was a Navy SEAL sniper by the name of Devon Grube who was killed up on the Eastern Shore kayaking. It was just an absolute freak kayaking accident. It was in December, and he didn't drown. He actually succumbed to hypothermia. Devon was one of my very best friends, his wife Margie, and they've got 3 young kids under the age of 6. So it was just a very hard thing that happened, and I think the thing that probably hit me the hardest is that Devon actually called her from the water. He knew he wasn't going to make it back, but he was able to call and talk to her before he passed. So that whole thing was just very tragic for me. So I told Marge, I said, Devon had such a love for life, and everything about Devon was just upbeat. He was never really down about anything, and he loved to barbecue. I mean, he took a...
Doesn't all military men love to barbecue? Isn't that mission barbecue?
Yeah, right. I mean, anything to do with fire and meat, we're in,
Yes.
So Devon actually, he took a 200-pound propane gas tank and cut it down and made a smoker out of it at the school where he was teaching at the sniper school in Indiana. So since he loved it, I told Margie, let's do a tribute to Devon. Let's just do a barbecue and one thing. And I think our thoughts in the beginning was, have a bunch of people come over with crock pots and, potluck and...
like a memorial party, just
sure.
A gathering of,
absolutely.
Of stories and
celebration. Absolutely. That has turned into something really incredible. I mean, it seemed like every time we turned around, God was putting somebody in front of us to open up the pathways and the opportunities to make this event something bigger than what we had ever planned. And that's kind of where we are now. So now we're at a point where this has turned into, it's a 3-day festival.
That's what I was going to say. You went from a backyard barbecue to a 3-day festival.
Yeah, it's my wife looked at me, she goes, you've never been accused of doing anything small. And I said, well, so here we are. So we now have, we have 6 bands playing over 3 days. We have 24 professional barbecue teams coming in. It's actually a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned event. The governor has signed off and made this a state championship, so our grand champion has the opportunity to go to the Jack Daniels National.
Wow.
We have such great sponsors. T-Mobile is involved, and T-Mobile's involved at a level where, they went to the White House this last year and said that they have made a commitment to the U.S. and to the military to hire 5,000 veterans over the next 3 years.
I had no idea. That is awesome.
So their diversity division.
Maybe we should start looking at T-Mobile.
Well, I got to tell you, their pricing is great. That's for sure. But they're actually coming to the event, and they're gonna setting up a booth, and they're actually going to be talking to veterans about opportunities with T-Mobile and what they can do for them. So they're really, I just can't tell you how much T-Mobile is interested in hiring veterans into their company. It's amazing to me that a company that large has that deep of a commitment to this. So it's really great.
That is wonderful.
And Alison, you're obviously in real estate with KW. I'm in real estate. I own a real estate company, but there's a gentleman that stepped up to help us with this that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Century 21 top producers, Wes Coons. Wes Coons is a barbecue guy.
I know Wes.
Wes is people may not know this, but he's a Marine.
He's tried to recruit me.
He's tried to recruit us all. But Wes found out that we were doing this, and I don't even know how he found out about it. But he picked the phone up and he called me and he said, Kenny, he goes, I want to be your what's your top sponsor? And I said, Wes, and I'm gonna tell the number. I said, Wes, my top sponsor, and I'm like nervous about it because I'm like asking for a lot of money.
You're waiting for the rejection, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I said $10,000 is our top sponsor, and that'll give you the title sponsorship presented by. And he went, done. And I said, do you want to know what you got? He goes, I don't care. This is a cause that means something. So I went by literally the next day, and he wrote a check for $10,000 on the spot. And that really kind of set the tone for the rest of the sponsors that we brought on board. And I mean, we have people like FLIR, Forward Looking Infrared, Ingville Ballistics, just major companies, L3 Insight Technologies, major companies throughout this country that, have a lot to do with the military, and this is their way of giving back. So
you're right. Really I mean, this must have been an ordained kind of event, because to go from a conversation of let's have a big barbecue with a bunch of friends and really enjoy Devon's legacy to something that is going to affect and contribute to so many more military community lives and spouses and families.
Well, now that it's got to where it is, I mean, I need to take a minute and talk about a gentleman by the name of Patrick Sowers. Patrick Sowers is the CEO of Operation Once in a Lifetime in Texas. And one of Devon's friends says, hey, look, I know this guy in Texas. He runs a nonprofit. I think you should talk to him. And at the time when this started to really grow and get big, I realized very quickly that if we were going to do something and generate these types of charity funds, we have a tax liability issue, and we really needed to come under the umbrella of a 501c3 or 3C, however you say it. And the problem is you can't get one of those done in a month. And, a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned event normally takes about 12 months, and we got it done in 3 weeks. So
again, another door that just
absolutely
blew wide open to help you guys put it together.
Absolutely. It's like we had our own breaching team just knocking doors down ahead of us.
Well, you are talking about the SEALs.
This is very true. This is very true.
I mean, if it's meant to be, it will be even if it isn't meant to be and they want it, it will happen.
Exactly. Well, and and I've taken this from, and I've worked with a lot of the guys, and that's how I met Devon actually 12 years ago. Devon was graduated from Buds, and I owned a title company with the Whites at Sam White's, and Rosalie Doggett was an attorney there, and her husband was in the teams, and she says, hey, he's got a new guy coming in from Buds. Can you help him find a house? I said, sure. And that was Devon and Margie, and me and Devon just became just really close friends. I mean, we just kind of hit it off, and so once that happens, I mean, you kind of get referred to the rest of the guys. So work with a lot of them, and one of the sayings that they have, which is just I try to use in everything in my life: if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Yeah.
So I kind of taken that to extremes on something.
You have overdone it. So so there is an official name to this event.
There is. It is the Devon Grube Memorial Barbecue Classic presented by Century 21 Top Producer.
So if somebody was to Google that, is there a website, a link, a Facebook page? Is there any?
We have all of the above.
You have all of the above. So if you are listening, all of that content is going to be in a clickable link within the body of the podcast or on the YouTube channel just below, so that people can see more about it. So when does the event happen? So
the event is October 6th, 7th, and 8th. The gates open Friday night at 5 o'clock, and we'll have 2 bands playing that night. Will Overman and Dave Sinar are playing Friday night.
Dave has really done well.
Dave has done great.
Dave when he first started.
And he's another guy. I called him, Alison, and I said, Dave, this is what we're doing. We're really looking for bands. And before I could finish, he goes, I'm in.
Oh, that is awesome.
So Dave was in, so it's great.
And it's going to be held where?
At the KOA Campground on General Boulevard.
Now, are there going to be campers there too? I mean,
they
you
are.
already have your camper there.
They are. Come on in. As a matter of fact, if you camp that weekend,
park and stay.
Park and stay. That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, if you're staying at the campgrounds, you can purchase half-price tickets at the KOA office. You have to be staying there, and they'll sell you tickets at half price. And the tickets are great. They're $20, but it's for the entire weekend. It gets you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Extremely reasonable.
Yeah,
extremely. I've seen some smaller festivals that are much higher in price, so I definitely think that you've created an environment that probably will be extremely memorable for some people coming in, some families coming in. I'm sure for Devon's family, it's going to be very heartwarming and endearing. And then, of course, all the people that are participating with it, it's just, they're going to have a good time, but it's that feel good at the same time, that give back. So, Kenny, if you want to tell anybody, is there a contact number? Is there an
Sure.
email address? Something if people want more information?
Absolutely. So we can go to dgbbqclassic.com or just type in Devon Grube BBQ Classic and it will come up. We're in like the first 3 or 4 on the search pages. Phone number you can call is 757-742-3025. That's the number directly for that. You can buy tickets online and they'll get mailed right out to you. There's a couple other things. I know Alison needs to wrap this up, but there's a couple other things that we're doing that I think is amazing. We have probably $30,000 in raffle items. We have a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet signed by 27 of the current players. Mark LaRue from LaRue Tactical built a rifle specifically for this event. It's a $6,000 rifle. Tickets are $5 a piece for these raffle items. So there's
And
a
where
tremendous
does all
one.
the proceeds go?
All the proceeds are going to Navy SEAL Foundation, Operation Once in a Lifetime, which is Patrick I was telling you about, and the Grube family. The vast majority of the funds, all the funds are coming into Operation Once in a Lifetime, but the Navy SEAL Foundation really stepped up and helped Margie, so some of it is going to go to them. The vast majority, over 70% of these funds are going to actually Devon's widow and their children. She's got 3, like I said, young kids, all under the age of 6. So
that is so amazing. I'm so glad that, not to say this wasn't difficult. There was probably challenges and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into doing this, but you know what? Those doors kept opening up, so you knew you were going down the right path, and I'm sure his family will be forever grateful. And I love how you're calling it the first annual, because that means you have plans on making more. So if you come to the event and you love the event, I'm sure you're going to be looking forward to another fall season for it.
Absolutely. And
maybe next time will be chicken wings instead of
have a wing fight.
fest or a chili
Well,
fest.
Alice, it's so funny because I thought about doing it, but maybe not. I didn't know, but I think we're going to have to. The city of Virginia Beach is actually backing this thing. There's so much buzz in the barbecue community up and down the East Coast about this. I literally could have fielded a team of probably 70 to 75 teams this year if I would have really opened it up, but I didn't want to get overwhelmed.
So you have people probably waiting in line for 2018, 2019, 2020.
We do. I think this actually, the talk right now, and I was talking to the founder of the Kansas City Barbecue Society, and look, they do thousands of events every year around the world, and they're excited about this. This actually has grown. It looks like this could possibly wind up being one of the largest barbecue tournaments, championship tournaments on the Eastern Seaboard.
Wow.
So, and
guys,
it's really
the
crazy.
Price of these tickets, I don't know if we mentioned that, $20.
Yeah, for the whole weekend.
$20. And first annual usually means lower in price. So if you want to experience it, who knows, 2018 might be $25 or $30. So, Kenny, thank you so
Thank you,
much
Alison,
for
for
coming
having
in.
me on today. I appreciate that.
I hope after the event we can get back together and you can talk about the success of it
Let's do it.
and plan for the next one.
Thank you so much.